Good morning, students. I hope your Tuesday morning is going well. Hope you've had a great beginning of your week. Well, we are now in week 6 of exploring the New Testament together. So your week 6 assignments went live yesterday morning. So those are now available for you. This week is going to be the same as it has been in previous weeks in regards to your assignments. You're going to have 4 assignments due this week: your unit quiz, your discussion, reflection, and your accomplishment paper. So again, if you have questions about your assignments as you're getting into those this week, please do reach out to me with those questions. Now, your week 4 assignments have been graded and returned to you with feedback. So please make sure that you are looking over your assignments, that you're actually going into the scoring rubrics, looking at those individual sections to see on areas that you did very well with your assignments, and in ways that you can improve on those. And again, if you have questions about your feedback, please reach out to me with those questions. Now, I did want to go over with your assignments for this week. If you've had the opportunity again to kind of look already on the course content page for this week, you're going to be having 2 different introductions you're reading out of the ESV. One on the book of Ephesians, the other one on the book of 1 Timothy. And then you're going to be going over a section called Biblical Doctrines. So you're reading over an overview of the different doctrines of the Bible. Now, your scripture reading for this week is going to be coming from the book of Ephesians and also from the book of 1st and 2nd Timothy. And as I've mentioned before in the past, please do make sure that you are reading over the footnotes connected with those different scripture verses. The footnotes will provide helpful information that will help you and assist you specifically in your accomplishment paper. So just really wanted to emphasize that. Also, you do have at least 1 or 2 supplemental handouts that are available for you. Again, those aren't required reading, but they're there to be able to assist you, with your assignments. And then, of course, you do have 1 video lecture this week that's connected along with your accomplishment paper for this week. Now, for your assignments, again, your discussion is going to be focused around biblical leadership, what that looks like, and what is the requirements for a man that God has called into the office of pastor. And so you're going to be focusing around that question in regards to your discussion this week. And then your reflection is going to be coming from Ephesians chapter 5, looking specifically at the 3 different types of relationships that Paul is discussing in Ephesians chapter 5, going all the way into the first 9 verses, I believe, into chapter 6 of Ephesians. And then also your accomplishment this week is also going to be focusing around the spiritual armor of God that's discussed in Ephesians chapter 6, I believe, in verses 10 through 20. So just wanted to really emphasize where your assignments will be coming from this week. And then with connection with that is making sure that you are fulfilling those requirements in the scoring rubric. So just really wanted to make sure that I emphasize that you are going over the scoring rubric, that you're looking at the different requirements that need to be in each one of those. Now, I did want to just mention a couple things real quickly, just in regards to ways that you can improve as a whole. Some of the things that I recognize this week. Number 1 would be make sure that you are fulfilling your word requirements in each of your assignments, whether it's the reflection or the accomplishment paper. If your assignments are not meeting the word requirements, there is a penalty, there is a deduction, and that is clearly laid out in the course syllabus on, if you do not have an accomplishment paper that is at least 500 words, then you have an automatic 4-point deduction off the top of your score. So just really wanted to make sure that I emphasize that once again, that you are fulfilling your word requirements, and then secondly, that you are fulfilling those requirements within the scoring rubric. Probably the 2 biggest areas that I'm seeing, unfortunately, where points are being lost would be, number 1, not including discussion and application questions in your paper, and then number 2 would not having a clear introduction or a clear closing prayer or a conclusion at the end of your paper. I try to put instructions in there to where you can see that when you're doing your papers, you need to have a conclusion that opens the topic you're writing about, The questions in your assignment are always going to be within the body of your paper, and then you're going to conclude your assignment by either giving a conclusion or a closing prayer. So if you give a conclusion, then the conclusion needs to basically refer back to your introduction. And so the last question that you answer needs to be in the body of your paper. It does not need to be in the conclusion. And so if you do that, you'll notice even in the scoring rubric where it says unsatisfactory for that section, it says if there's no introduction or if there's no closing prayer, then it's an unsatisfactory for that section. And so if you do not put a clear conclusion or if you do not have a clear introduction, then I cannot give you points for that section. So just really wanted to emphasize that, because that's unfortunately an easy way to lose points when all you need to do is put a clear introduction that opens your topic, and then again close your paper by either putting a conclusion or a closing prayer. Again, the closing prayer is really focusing on what you're learning throughout the week in regards to the topic that you're focusing on. So those were kind of two of the points there. I would say the other thing would be in connection with your reflection was, making sure that you're answering all three sections. When you're looking at your grading for your reflection, you have 4 sections you're being graded on. So you have the understanding, you have your personal reflection, application, and then grammar. And so you'll notice in most of the questions that you have for the reflection, there's 3 questions you're being asked to answer in your reflection. And so each one of those questions is designed to be able to fulfill one of those sections in the scoring rubric. So if you do not answer one of the questions in your assignment, then I cannot give you a score on one of the sections. So for instance, if you don't include anything in regards to application, which is usually the last question you're being asked, then I cannot give you a score in that section, and you end up getting an unsatisfactory in there. So just really wanted to highlight those. And then the last one would be in your discussions, the responses to your classmates. You'll notice that in order to get an excellent in that section, that your responses need to promote further discussion. So when you're responding to a classmate, think through what your classmate has said, and then reply back to them in a way of how can I promote further discussion with what I'm saying and responding back to what statements they have made in their discussion. So one of the great ways to do that, again, is to ask a probing, challenging question. It doesn't mean your classmate will respond back to you, but you have then taken the initiative to be prompt by something they have said. You're going to engage them with asking a probing, challenging question that could, if they respond back, promote further discussion. So again, those are just 3 different areas, bringing up each one of the assignments, ways that you can, we can corporately move forward and do the best we can on the assignments, because those are just kind of overall things that I was seeing. But then again, there's individual things in regards to you personally as you're going into those assignments and looking specifically on ways that you can improve. Last thing I would mention, as I've tried to do each one of the videos I've done, is make sure that you're properly citing your papers, that you're going in and citing the ESV, because that's your main source. Other resources that you're using outside of class, you want to make sure you highlight and that you cite those in your paper. And then also please watch your paraphrasing. So if you are paraphrasing information from the footnotes or anything, make sure that you're properly paraphrasing and that you're properly citing that information in your papers as well. Again, if I need to get another communication to you, I will either post a video or I will use the message center in the course icon to be able to get another communication to you. With that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and have a great week. Look forward to connecting with all of you again soon.